Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We started with chapter 25 yesterday, Canto 3, and we're on text 3. Yad yad vidate Bhagavan swachandat Mahatma Mayaya Tani Me Shraddhadanasya Kirtan Yani Anukritya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, please precisely describe all the activities and pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is full of self-desire and who assumes all these activities by his internal potency. All activities of Krishna is by his internal potency. Okay. The word Anukirtaya is very significant. Anukirtaya means to follow the description, not to create a concocted mental description, but to follow. Shaunak Rishi requested Sutta Goswami to describe what he had actually heard from his spiritual master, Sukadev Goswami, about the transcendental pastimes that the Lord manifested by his internal energy. Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has no material body, but he can assume any kind of body by his supreme will. That is made possible by his internal energy. So Prabhupada is pointing out here to us that the important word is Anukirtaya, means to repeat exactly as we have heard from the bona fide spiritual master. Sutta Goswami had heard Bhagavatam from Sukadev Goswami, and Sutta Goswami is speaking the Bhagavatam to the sages of Naimisharanya, in which the leader is Shaunak Rishi. Shaunak Rishi is putting the questions. And so Shaunak Rishi is telling him, please tell me exactly as you heard. Don't speak from your mind. You know, when we speak from our mind, that's when we spoil the things. We misrepresent the Shastras. We misinterpret the Shastras. And he wants to hear about the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Any kind of body by his supreme will. Krishna is not forced like us to take a body. We are forced, we are put inside a material body based on our past karma and our desire. But Krishna never takes a material body. He has many, many spiritual forms. It's all Krishna. It's not that they are different gods. No, God is just one. God is one, but he has many expansions, all transcendental. Any comments to that?
So all his leelas that he performed, that is from the internal potency, right?
Yeah.
Like as this mentioned.
Yes.
So that is like when he expended himself as 16,108 for all the queens, that was also from the internal potency, right?
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so all his activity, his talking, his whatever he's doing, walking, sleeping, you know, war, or whatever he's doing, it's all transcendental. Right now we are thinking we are the body. So all our activities are on the material platform based on the body. But Krishna never thinks that. He never thinks I'm just a material body. Yeah, he always understands who's his position. He never forgets his position. Of course, unless he's in Vrindavan, where the love is so much of the devotees that he wants to forget he's God in Vrindavan. So yeah, yesterday I was just thinking about the example that you gave for Arjun and Krishna as God showing that devotee is more powerful. So in a way, yes, if we look at it, that Krishna said, Arjuna, Krishna could have killed everyone by himself, but he told Arjuna, you become the instrument and you take the glory of the fight. So in that way, yes, then Krishna shows that how his devotee is more powerful. Yeah. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And reading on. Sutta vacha dvaipayana sakhastva evam maitriyo bhagavams tatha prahedam viduram prita an vikshikyam prachoditaha. Sri Sutta Goswami said, the most powerful sage Maitreya was a friend of Vyasadeva. Being encouraged and pleased by Vidur's inquiry about transcendental knowledge, Maitreya spoke as follows. So Vyasadeva and Maitreya Muni, they are friends. And Maitreya Muni, you see, Vidur is putting the questions. So when we approach the spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, in that spirit, submissive and inquiry, Krishna says that, right? In 434, how to approach a spiritual master with submission, inquiry, service attitude. So Vidur is having that. He's very inquisitive to understand the transcendental knowledge. So Maitreya is very happy to reveal that knowledge. Same, Parikshit Maharaj is very enthusiastic to hear more and more. So Sukadev Goswami is speaking more and more. And here we see that Shaunak Rishi is inquisitive to hear more and more. So Sutta Goswami is speaking more and more. So that's how to approach a bona fide spiritual master and receive the transcendental knowledge from him. Questions and answers are very satisfactorily dealt with when the inquirer is bona fide and the speaker is also authorized. Here, Maitreya is considered a powerful sage, and therefore he is also described as Bhagwan. This word can be used not only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but for anyone who is almost as powerful as the Supreme Lord. Maitreya is addressed as Bhagwan because he was spiritually far advanced. He was a personal friend of Dvaipayana Vyasadeva, a literary incarnation of the Lord. Maitreya was very pleased with the inquiries of Vidur because they were the inquiries of a bona fide, advanced devotee. Thus, Maitreya was encouraged to answer. When there are discourses on transcendental topics between devotees of equal mentality, the questions and answers are very fruitful and encouraging. Very fruitful, very encouraging, and it's for the benefit of everyone. Like, we are fortunate that Vidur asked these questions to Maitreya, and so we are able to get this transcendental knowledge. Or Arjun put the questions to Krishna, and then we get the transcendental knowledge. So what are the questions and what are the answers and who we are asking? You know, the whole time we are asking questions, all the time. But what kind of questions we are asking and who are we asking the questions to? So that's the point. Maitreya vacha pitari prasthite ranyam matuhu priya chikirshaya tasmin bindu sare vatsid Bhagwan Kapilaha Kila. Maitreya said, when Kardama left for the forest, Lord Kapila stayed on the strand of the Bindu Sarovar to please his mother Devahuti. In the absence of the father, it is the duty of the grown son to take charge of his mother and serve her to the best of his ability so that she will not feel separation from her husband. And it is the duty of the husband to leave home as soon as there is a grown son to take charge of his wife and family affairs. That is the Vedic system of household life. One should not remain continually implicated in household affairs up to the time of death. He must leave. Family affairs and the wife may be taken charge of by a grown son. So now, before they could leave to the forest, now where will people live? So the idea is don't continue to be involved in material duties. Once all the duties are finished, then engage in hearing and chanting, cultivating spiritual knowledge, because it's the last part of the life. And it is the name Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. He would say it's better that the old father, after he's finished the duties, leaves the home so the children feel separation. Oh, why did he go? Why did he go? Because after he becomes a burden, then they will start saying, oh, when will he go? When will he go? It's a circle of life. It is a circle of life. And so after the duties are finished, it's recommended engage more in spiritual activities. Tam asinam akarmanam tattvam margagra darshanam swasutam devahuti aha dhatuhu samsmarati vachaha. When Kapila, who could show her the ultimate goal of the absolute truth, was sitting leisurely before her, Devahuti remembered the words Brahma had spoken to her, and she therefore began to question Kapila as follows. Devahutir uvacha nirvina nittaram bhuman asad indriya tarshanat yena sambhavya manena prapanandham tamaha prabho. Devahuti said, I'm very sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses. For because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. Here, the word asat indriya darshanat is significant. Asat means impermanent, temporary, and indriya means senses. Thus, asat indriya darshanat means from being agitated by the temporarily manifest senses of the material body. Asat indriya darshanat, agitated by the temporarily manifest senses of the material body. We are evolving through different statuses of material bodily existence, sometimes in a human body, sometimes in an animal body, and therefore the engagements of our material senses are also changing. Now we are in a human body, so we have different types of senses. If we are in a plant body, we will have different senses. And so the way to enjoy the senses is different. In a dog body, it is different. So then it's a different way of engaging the senses. Anything which changes is called temporary or asat. So we do have a feeling, okay, I am going to change my body. So the body is temporary, but I am the eternal. I'm the soul. And so I am eternal. I don't change. Only I keep on taking different bodies as we keep changing clothes. Krishna says, no, we change old clothes. We give up the old clothes, take on new clothes. So these clothes, they are temporary. Similarly, this material body, it is temporary. That's why it's called asat. Asat. So means it's not the absolute truth. That's not who we are, because if that's who we are, then we don't need to change the body. Then eternally we live in that body. But because it is not true, we keep changing. We should know that beyond these temporary senses are our permanent senses, which are now covered by the body. The permanent senses, being contaminated by matter, are not acting properly. So it's not that the soul does not have senses. We have spiritual senses. Like Prabhupada would say, why our clothes, our shirt has the arms, the pants have the legs. Why? Because our body, we have the arms, no? And the legs. So to fit the body, we have, our clothes are designed like that. So we have senses. The soul has senses. And this material body is a covering of our permanent senses. Permanent. The permanent senses being contaminated by matter are not acting properly. Devotional service therefore involves freeing the senses from this contamination. When the contamination is completely removed and the senses act in the purity of unalloyed Krishna consciousness, we have reached Sat Indriya or eternal sensory activities. So right now our senses are covered. They are contaminated. They are covered by this material senses. How to do? How to do? Devotional service. Devotional service. Then devotional service purifies our senses. And when there's complete purification, what's going to happen? Then that's the original position. That's our original position, unalloyed Krishna consciousness. Unalloyed means there's no mixture. There is nothing mixed up in it. It's pure Krishna consciousness. That's true position of every living entity, every living entity. Eternal sensory activities are called devotional service, whereas temporary sensory activities are called sense gratification. So we can see that devotional service right now in our contaminated stage helps us to get purified. And once we get purified, once we already liberated, once we are already situated on our original platform, then devotional service continues. Why? Because that's the eternal occupation of every living entity. That's the eternal activity, Sanatan Dharma. So what is Sanatan Dharma actually? Is bhakti, is the Sanatan Dharma of every living entity. Devotional service. Because every living entity, the nature is to serve. And serve how? In transcendental loving service to the Lord. Right now, that same service attitude has become perverted in this material world. And perverted how? That I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy, and we are trying our best. But we don't know how to. We don't know how to. We are in fact just ending up manipulating and being being full of pride and arrogance and thinking that that is enjoyment. But our true enjoyment is when we are situated in our natural position of loving service. Loving service does not mean serving the body. Loving service is connected to Krishna, giving Krishna to others some way or the other. So that is being serving everyone. So unless one becomes tired of material sense gratification, there is no opportunity to hear transcendental messages from a person like Kapila. Devahuti expressed that she was tired. Now that her husband had left home, she wanted to get relief by hearing the instructions of Lord Kapila. So she had become frustrated. She became tired of material sense gratification. We heard how much sense gratification she had. Kardama Muni made a flying palace for her, gave her these beautiful maid servants, gave her ornaments, beautiful clothes, such an opulent palace to live in, which is full of jewels. And she looks so beautiful, and they were traveling all over the universe, wherever, like the most beautiful places in the universe. So she really had the highest degree of sense gratification. We always feel, oh, I'm not happy because maybe my sense gratification is not so good. Maybe if I had better things, I would enjoy more, I would be happier. Maybe if I went to a better place for travel, or maybe if I would have traveled in a more luxurious way, I would enjoy more. Or if I would, eat more exotic food, I would be more happier. We do think that. But we can see that Devahuti, she had the best of sense gratification. We can't even understand. But she said, I'm tired of it. She said, I am tired of this material sense gratification. I want to hear transcendental knowledge. I'm sorry, she wanted to get relief. So we can see that it's not that material sense gratification is going to make us happy. In fact, you know, after we have enjoyed too much, try to enjoy the capacity that we can, we still understand, oh, what's happening? I'm still feeling miserable and I want to get relief, because that's the nature of this world. It's called forest fire. Forest fire. This world is compared to a forest fire where we are just burning. Any comments to that? Or anyone wanted to share anything about that? No, then we continue. And then hearing about transcendental knowledge, hearing and chanting is like cooling showers on that fire. Asvatvam tamaso andhasya dushparasyadya paragam sakchakshur janmanam ante labdham metvad anugrahat. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental I, which by your mercy only I have attained after many, many births. This verse is very instructive, since it indicates the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. The disciple or conditioned soul is put into this darkest region of ignorance and therefore is entangled in the material existence of sense gratification. We are conditioned souls. We are conditioned to thinking we are the body. We are conditioned under the modes of nature. And so that is our ignorance. And we are thinking sense gratification is the way to being happy. It is very difficult to get out of this entanglement and attain freedom. But if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a spiritual master like Kapila Muni or his representative, then by his grace, one can be delivered from the mire of ignorance. The spiritual master is therefore worshipped as one who delivers the disciple from the mire of ignorance with the light of the torch of knowledge. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the ignorance of darkness, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the light of the torch of knowledge. So the word paragam is very significant. Paragam refers to one, to one who can take the disciple to the other side. This side is conditioned life. The other side is the life of freedom. Right now we are thinking we are free, but we are not free. We are conditioned by the modes of nature. We are conditioned to thinking I'm the body, I must act this way, but we are the soul, you know. If we really are situated on the platform of the soul, and if we can look at ourselves, what we are doing, we will say, oh my God, I'm acting so crazy, because that's not who we truly are. So that's our ignorance. And once when we are situated in our true position, that is freedom. Not being entangled by the modes, not being forced to act. For example, now, because we are in the body of a human being, we think, oh, I'm a human being, so I must act like a human being. Now, the same soul, me, before I was in the body of a dog, then I'm acting like a dog, right? And then when I'm in the body of a tree, I'm standing there acting like a tree. So that is the ignorance. That is how we are bound to this modes. The spiritual master takes the disciple to the other side by opening his eyes with knowledge. We are suffering simply because of ignorance. By the instruction of the spiritual master, the darkness of ignorance is removed, and thus the disciple is enabled to go to the side of freedom. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that after many, many births, one surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabhaha. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, if after many, many births, one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a bona fide representative of Krishna, one can be taken to the side of light. So the Prabhupada is saying, if one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a spiritual master who's a bona fide representative of Krishna, then one can be taken to the side of light. Means can be taken out from this material world into the spiritual world. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any comments or anything? Any reflections, realizations?
I think people don't even realize, but because Dev Ahuti was very, very, not the exact word, I don't know, like she was really wife of Karadamba Muni and mother of Kapila Muni. So that's why she had these realizations.
Yeah, yes, true. And also, you see, we, the soul, we are looking for happiness, no? And so we are thinking, oh, let me enjoy, and I will be happy, happy, happy. But once we have tried a lot of things, we will come to a point of asking, oh my God, but I've done so much, and yet I still feel not satisfied. The soul will come to that point. Why? Because it's not our nature to be in this material world. So yes, of course, she's very fortunate. She's the wife of Kardama Muni and mother of Kapila Muni. So she is very qualified to be on that position. But all of us can't be like that, right? So looking at how could we take it then? So because, we are the souls, we are spirit souls. So only spiritual life can give us that true happiness, that complete fulfillment that we are actually looking for. So no matter how much we try to enjoy, there will come a point, maybe not in this life, as Krishna is saying, after many, many births, but it will come at one point of time.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right that the material things give us the temporary happiness. And we all see that, we all know that. It is just a happiness for 3 or 4 days, and then again we want something else. We are again looking. Oh my God, now this is old. I need something new. So again, yes, this is a practical thing. We have been seeing even the clothes. They are to cover our body, but we need more clothes. After 3 or 4 washes, we don't want to wear the clothes anymore. That won't give me that happiness.
Not only that, how the styles change, and then you start feeling, oh,
yeah,
this is already like, it's an old style.
yeah.
I have that old pattern. I need a new one now.
Yeah, agree. But then that time when I went to buy it, that was the source of all my pleasure.
Yeah.
But then how the source of the pleasure could just shift. It is so temporary. But then Krishna, in the spiritual world, Krishna, or all his, like, it's only him. So then that is eternal, right?
Yeah, Krishna is eternal. His devotees are eternal. Yeah.
So yes, it is wondrous, but yeah, we just have to hear and chant, keep.
And we come to that point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in ignorance what to do. I'm thinking I'm the body. I behave like I'm the body. What can I do? Just hear and chant.
Yeah. And
like how we say, right? We should understand now that we are the spirit soul. We are eternal. Like how do we say, like we say, right? This is my car. This is my house. So are you the house? No, you are not. Are you the car? No, that's why you say my, because you are not the car, you are not the thing. So who are you? You are the soul. Right.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
have
that's
to keep
not
reminding
somewhere,
ourselves.
yeah, like, belongs, but then you are not that.
Yeah, we forget, no?
yeah, I still remember one example I used to tell my husband also, this is Neha. So, Neha. So I'm the soul, I'm not Neha. For this life, I am Neha. But I'm not Neha.
But we
I
surely
am the
act.
soul.
We surely act. We are the body and we speak.
We look, we look like crazy. We start acting.
We feel like we are the body. And imagine if we were to act, oh, okay, right now, okay, I am not this body. I am the soul. But because we are not situated on that platform, we will make a fool of ourselves.
That's what I'm telling, that if they get,
Huh?
yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry, yes. So, but as Sneha just rightly said, we can remind ourselves, hey, let me not act this way. After all, I'm not this body. Let me try to act from a
Yeah, like we say, right? This is my hands, my legs. Are you the legs? Are you this body? No, you're not, right?
It's true. It's true. But when we practically, that we have to come to that point. But when we are practically acting, we forget that.
That's yes.
We forget that.
So,
So
but the worst part, if you tell somebody like that, they like look at you in a very, in way, what are you talking?
Yeah, they think you're crazy. I mean, we first
Yeah,
need to realize we can't tell. That's what I'm telling.
exactly, yeah.
oh, you mean if you tell this to anyone that you're not the body or the soul, like that?
Yeah, like some people are like,
Yeah. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that,
Not many people understand about the soul also, right?
Mm.
Not many people want to also
They
understand.
don't want to understand,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because see, we are all, and we have been there. We have been there also. That's the reason we are here in the material world now.
Yeah.
Because each of us is in our individual journey of our where we are right now, and it's each of us is in a unique level of consciousness, I would say.
Yeah, true.
And so we have also been in through all these
Yeah.
various stages, where people have tried to tell us, and we are like, what are you talking about? Let me do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So, but if someone is willing to hear, yes, speak to them. Someone is ready to hear. There are many people who are waiting to receive this knowledge. We just have to find them. We just have to find them. So we continue hearing and chanting. And on this note, we end for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening and joining in.